Stitcher Smart Radio, the smarter way to listen to radio.
Are you ready, Steve? Andy? Yeah! Bert? Well, all right, fellas. Well, let's go!
You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download at www.audibletrial.com/CFRN. Over 85,000 titles. Choose from mystery, romance, religion, science, technology, business, New York Times bestsellers, even children's books. You name it, Audible has it. With 85,000 titles to choose from, you're sure to find the perfect audiobook for yourself or to give as a gift, and it's absolutely free. Just point your browser to audibletrial.com/CFRN. That's audibletrial.com/CFRN. And become a part of the audiobook revolution by downloading your free audiobook today. audibletrial.com/CFRN.
Hey, trader, want to get rich quick? Well, good luck with that. If, on the other hand, you actually want to learn how to trade, the place to be is www.cfrn.net. Tune in Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern for our daily devotional, and then spend the next 3 hours learning how it's done from professional traders who actually trade for a living. That's www.cfrn.net. Every trading day from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN Emini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things Emini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro, and even T-bills. Joining us today from our studios in Boston, Mr. Michael Bork. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Hey, good afternoon. Happy Thursday. Welcome back. Today is Thursday, 6th day of July, 2017, and the air conditioner is down again. And yes, we are broadcasting live from Phoenix, Arizona, probably one of the hottest places on planet Earth other than Death Valley, which is kind of what it feels like up here right now. So, we're going to keep the show nice and short today. We're going to head straight over to Michael. Let me give you the numbers really quick. If you can't see the chart I have up, or the charts that Michael's about to show you, go to our homepage at cfrn.net. On the right-hand side, click the big microphone, follow the instructions, watch live now, and within about 30 seconds, you'll see the charts, you'll have access to the chat box, and you won't have to do it again till the 1st of August. You register once every month, 30 seconds for 30 days. You can also catch us on YouTube live at youtube.com/CFRN. Okay? Alright, the Dow is currently down 75 points. NASDAQ is down 33. S&P 500 is down almost at 11. And the Russell 2000 is down 7.5. In the commodity basket, crude oil, we had inventories today, a day late because of the holiday. We're up 96 cents, which is a little over 2%, trading 46.09 last. Gold is up $2, trading 1223.70 last. As we go to the Asian markets, the Nikkei is down closed down 87.5 points. Shanghai closed up 5.5. Hang Seng closed down 56. No movers, no shakers, pretty quiet. Seems like there's holiday trade around the world. And in the European markets, FTSE closed down today 30 points. The DAX closed down 72 points. That is a little over half of 1%. And the CAC closed down 27, almost 28, and that for the CAC is a little over half of 1%. So the Asian markets mixed. European markets, nothing but red. And here in the US, nothing but red. It's a red Thursday as the mercury continues to climb. So, yes, the AC guy has been alerted, but I gotta tell you, this is high season for AC guys in Phoenix, Arizona. So we're going to do the best we can to get through the show, but it'll be a very short show. John's going to pop on and chat with us here pretty quickly. But for now, let's go to Michael, get a recap of just how slow it was in the live training room this morning. Michael, if you're ready.
I am ready.
Alrighty.
Here, I'll bring stuff over. And slide this. Here we go. Alright. We are ready.
Okay.
Alright. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Thursday, the 6th day of July, 2017. Well, as Dwayne just said, today was a very, very slow day. But if you have not taken the free trial with us, go to the homepage at cfrn.net, and right up here at the very top where it says use our indicators, learn our strategy, sign up for the CFRN live training room, 100% free trial. Click there, and then give us your first name and your email address. Click on register now, and you'll be sent a confirmation link. Okay. Once you get that confirmation link, you must click on it. Once you click it, then we'll know you took the trial. Okay. Today we actually had a red day. We ended with one stop out and minus $60 today. It took forever today to get anything. We had a stop out on Crude, a stop out on the YM, and we had 3 winning trades on Crude. Now, the 3 winning trades, 2 of them are 1 tick, 1 of them was 4 ticks, and then we stopped out for 8 to put us at minus 2 on the Crude. We had 1 on the gold, break even, and 1 on the YM, which was minus 8. So that is a total of 7 trades. If you're going to read the spreadsheet, you got to read all the CFTC risk disclosure stuff down at the bottom. So on the month now, that puts us at 92.50 in 2 days. On the year, we're at 19,027. That's over 124 days, averaging 153 a day. Okay. All right. So let's get into it here and show you what happened. Look at how horrible this gold market is right here. That is just horrible. No trade setups whatsoever. Right in here, just a mess. No trade setups. Then down here, when it put in the lower leg, it broke dynamic support. We had an opportunity right there. We took it, and it gave us, well, it closed below the MA1, we put the stop to break even. It gave us like 3 or 4 ticks max. But these markets are just a mess today. All right, on the euro, there was one opportunity right here that we missed, would have been a break even. And during the break, I thought things would loosen up a little during the break. They did get a little bit of movement here during the break, but nothing that you could trade. Okay, so we didn't do anything with the euro today. Crude is where we did all our trading today. Okay, this one right here, +1. This one right here, +1. All right, so this one right here, +1. This one right here, +1. Then it moved up, but there was nothing we could do here because we had dynamic resistance right above us all the way up until it broke it here. But when it broke it, you see how steep the cycle was going down? There was nothing we could do. Actually, right here is when the news came out too, the crude inventories. So we finally tried to get into it again over here. We got a break even. Then we got into it here. We got +4. That put us at +6 total. Then we stopped out here, pretty much to the tick, and then it went up and did what it should have done. And we were at -2 right there. During the break, there was a down close off the BBC right here, and another opportunity right there. So there's an opportunity to short there and there during the break. I guess and right here also. Actually, right there. And that was it during the break. Okay. So we ended with -2 on the crude. If you traded during the break, and I suggested to everyone that the markets would probably loosen up a little bit, and you would have gotten your goal for the day right there with those 2 crude trades. Okay, the YM. I missed this one right here, okay, and the follow-up one right there. That was during the crude inventories. And I took this one over here. It only gave a couple of ticks profit before it stopped us out. -8 ticks on the YM. Looking right in here, there was an opportunity to short right in there that I missed. And during the break, not really anything there during the break. The ES, there was this one shorting opportunity here, which would not have worked out at all. And that's it. That was it. Now I gotta show you the soybeans too. There was one spot in the soybeans this morning with a momentum long trade that would have given us the goal for the day if I can find them. Right there. Right here. It was a momentum long trade. It went exactly to the goal for the day. So if I would have gotten in exactly at the close, it went exactly to the goal for the day. And then it was just a choppy mess the rest of the day. Okay. So we ended up with a red day today. It happens from time to time. Tomorrow, possibly the same chop. That is true, Bart. There are some high impact news events in the pre-market tomorrow. You should all be aware of. Here, I'll show you what they are. Tomorrow. The big one tomorrow is well, there's a couple of them, but the non-farm employment change and the unemployment rate. Those 2 right there are the big ones. And then Fed monetary policy report coming out at 11 tomorrow. Okay, that's going to be a big one too. So we do have some news to push the markets around tomorrow. In the pre-market at 8:30, that should have some effect on it. Okay. What am I looking for here? The recap thing. There we go. Okay, so as I said, we were -8 on the YM, -2 on crude. That's -60 total. Okay, took us 7 trades to get there this morning. That last stop out on crude is what put us there. Actually, yeah, we were +20 up until that point. It was going to be a yellow day. If you have not taken the free trial, go to the homepage here at cfrn.net, and right up here at the very top where it says click here, just click there. Give us your first name, your email address, and click on register now. Okay, that's all we ask for. And then you'll get all the information you need to get into the live training room. And good afternoon, Pete. And with that, we can pass it back out to Studio A, fabulous Phoenix, Arizona, overlooking the nation's largest city park.
All right.
I did get it, didn't I?
Yeah.
I'm getting good at that. And I'm not even reading script.
Wow.
It is totally unscripted.
That is pretty good.
It is. You think after 10 years doing it, I finally get it.
Okay. All right. Okay, guys. This week, you're kind of looking at it right there. It's been From this zone down here, let me get rid of last week's, 14.15 to 22.23, and then above that for this week was 30.31. And nothing else really mattered. I don't think. Scroll back. Well, actually we popped up to a high. Looks like 36.5. And next zone above that would be 41.42. 30.31, 41.42. Yep. And so this we just simply overshot it. As you can see, it's all contained in there. Sunday night. Right on up through this morning. Okay. We spiked a little bit below 14. Now we started to climb back up to 22.23. And no go so far. Okay. Let's see what we got in the way of any headlines. Google's getting fined again by the European Union, this time over Android. The EU is planning to hit Google with a second significant fine. Microsoft employees are bracing for layoffs to be announced Thursday. Conference rooms have been booked in preparation. The iPhone 8 could cost you as much as $1,000 or more, but analysts say there will be big discounts. U.S. carriers are likely to offer assertive promotions alongside the new redesigned iPhone. Twitter let a celebrity with millions of followers post revenge porn for 30 minutes before it was taken down. Really? Rob Kardashian's verified Twitter account posted body-shaming photos of his ex-girlfriend, Block China. Twitter can't be hurting that bad. Apparently they may be. Chinese smartphone giant Xiaomi has a deal with Nokia to explore artificial intelligence and virtual reality. The deal allows the two companies to use each other's patents. Mark Zuckerberg thinks universal basic income is a bipartisan idea worth exploring in the U.S. This is a novel approach to basic income in a few ways, Mark wrote on his Facebook page Tuesday. And if you're not familiar with universal basic income, that's where everybody gets a check. Doesn't matter if you're rich or poor or somewhere in between, you get a check. Lyft's growth is rocketing, and the company is now doing 1 million rides a day. And you're like, Lyft? You mean Uber, right? No. Uber's competitor, Lyft, L-Y-F-T. The company is on track to hit an annualized run rate of 350 million rides. One of the world's biggest Bitcoin exchanges has been hacked. We brought this to you yesterday. The data for 30,000 customers have been compromised. BitThumb. A female employee reportedly called Tesla's factory a predator zone at a meeting where some workers described sexual harassment. Tesla said it has already put in place leadership and policy changes. And Google DeepMind and the NHS were let off lightly by the UK data regulator, lawyers say. The Information Commissioner, the UK data regulator, ruled on Monday that DeepMind's deal failed to comply with data protection law. And those are the headlines, other than the one where President Trump refused to say that Russia had undoubtedly interfered in the 2016 election, instead pivoting to attack former President Barack Obama during a press briefing with the Polish president. "I think it could very well have been Russia," Trump told reporters, adding, "I also think it could have been other countries. I won't be specific, but I think a lot of people interfere. It's been happening for many, many years." Trump then accused Obama of doing nothing in response to intelligence reports last summer that pointed to Russian interference. "The thing I have to mention is that Barack Obama, when he was president, found out about this in terms of if it were Russia," Trump said. "Found out about it in August. Now the election was in November. That's a lot of time. He did nothing about it. Why did he do nothing about it?" And I guess everyone's asking exactly what's Trump doing right here, right now, to do something about it. Trump was referring to the fact that the Obama administration waited until October 7th to publicly identify Russia as being behind the hacking of Democratic Party organizations, even though the CIA had informed the White House of this intelligence as early as August. They say he choked. "I don't think he choked," Trump said, referring to reporting that a senior Obama administration official felt the White House choked in its reaction to the revelations. He thought Hillary Clinton was going to win the election, and he said, let's not do anything about it. It's going our way. Trump added that Obama would have acted more aggressively had he expected Clinton to lose. "If he thought I was going to win, he would have done plenty about it." In December, Obama made public that he had confronted the Russian president about the meddling in September, telling him to cut it out. But Obama said he was loath to appear as if he were attempting to influence the outcome of the election by discussing it publicly. Part of the goal here was to make sure we did not do the work of the leakers for them by raising more and more questions about the integrity of the election right before the election was taking place, at a time when the president-elect himself was facing questions about the integrity of the election, according to President Obama. When a reporter on Thursday asked Trump whether he disagreed with the conclusion of the intelligence community, the president responded that his administration had done some heavy research and determined that only 3 or 4 agencies were in agreement on the evidence on interference. "Nobody really knows for sure," Trump said. Furthermore, the president argued that intelligence agencies had made mistakes and referred to the faulty conclusion that Iraq possessed weapons of mass destruction following the 9/11 attacks, information that bolstered President Bush's decision to invade the country in 2003. So there you have it. Those are the news, the headlines, and we'll be talking to John here in just a moment, or we won't. Depends on how quickly he calls in. Because as I said, the AC's out, and it's not good for me or the equipment. In fact, if we don't get the AC guy today, then we will probably have to take the show off. Excuse me just one moment. And we're back. Okay. The movement on the S&P last night was very, very quiet, to say the least. These are this week's zones, and they've done their job for a very, what do we got for a range on the week? 24.15 up to 31. You know, for so many years, the average daily range on the S&P was 20 points. This is a holiday week. I know we were off Monday and Tuesday and come back Wednesday, but for many people, traders, and just regular folk, it's a week off, especially with 4th of July falling smack dab in the middle of the week on a Tuesday. Well, next year it'll be smack dab in the middle of a week. It'll be on Wednesday. Iran says Iraq moved weapons of mass destruction to Syria. An Iraq general said. John, is that you?
It is.
Hey, welcome to the show.
Thanks. The market today is pretty tricky. It's one of the more difficult markets we've come across in a while. You know, we sort of made these lows this morning, which we basically got nailed, more or less, and had this rally, and the Nasdaq being down as much as it is, and its failure to cut losses more. You know, this last rally ran out of steam at 556.22. A bit of a problem. The spike, in a way, you know, if you look at some longer-term sort of hourly type charts or higher, you sort of see the possibility where some sort of impetus, were we to break out to the upside and you know, cut these losses by a few more points today, you could really potentially get some real upside traction. I don't think the situation is that detrimental to the market, but the ADP report coming out of 150 was a miss. You know, there was no other way to describe it. It was definitely not a good number. And you know, quite most of the last year or so, the ADPs tended to be larger than the actual jobs number. That could imply that the new jobs are actually going to be a lower number. You know, maybe a shocker. I would say anywhere, you know, could be potentially below 100,000 jobs, which would be a bit of a surprise. Especially since the Treasury bonds got down to 159, 151.90 a short while ago. And we put a buy there just for a little bit of a bounce, which we've got so far. But there's something pushing these bonds down. You know, the bonds went down on the jobs number, so which is kind of a surprise. So there may be something coming out in the next few days that could push these bond prices even lower, you know, towards our target of 145. I'm not sure.
They caught a little bounce here, but man, that is quite a sell-off.
So we've gone from, you know, as you know, ever since that 157, I've been really bearish on the bonds, and up until today, that's incorrect. I'm not so sure that, you know, we're going to keep tanking, but you know, towards 145, I might have to revise that. But you know, what I'm really getting at is it almost happened today where the bonds were tanking and the market has actually been, you know, starting to rally. And the more we see of that, the better. Because, you know, if in a perfect scenario today, you know, if we were to rally into the afternoon and close real strong, that would be, you know, closer to what I foresee for the coming few weeks, which is falling bond prices, interest rates rising, and stocks rising as well. That would be the perfect scenario for a kind of a blow-off. But it's not here yet, and it's a little bit delayed. I've never seen a July 6th this week in years. Usually by July the 6th, we're off to the races. So this is kind of a bit of an anomaly this year in the way the market's behaving. However, now we suddenly jumped up here on the NAS a few points. So, I got to tell you, if we blow out above 56.22 or 3 later today, this NASDAQ could really get some upside traction. The other thing to consider is usually before a jobs number, if the markets are weak like this, it doesn't bode well for the jobs. If we don't rally strongly this afternoon into the close, it probably means jobs number is going to be a disappointment. That could help the metals tomorrow, which are trying to go higher, but they're just being held back around this 1224 level on the gold and around 16 or so on the silver. But I would say this: if you see the metals break out for any reason this evening, from around about 5 to 8 your time, 5 to 7 your time, 8 to 10 Eastern, I'd be inclined to go with the trade and possibly be in for an overnight gain of significance. But at the moment, it doesn't look particularly. I wouldn't. There's a risk.
John, we just lost our connection. Oh, I can hear you again.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, it just faded out of it. Look, the grains are. We actually put a buyout overnight on the grains, and they have been acting quite well. The wheat, the corn is rebounding. The wheat is a little bit weaker, but the beans are going. Look, the beans are heading back to new highs here, and they actually look very bullish. They look like they're going to take a shot at going to 1,000 from here. The cotton also has been performing very well in the last couple of days, and kind of looks like it's in a bit of a bull move now. The oil again shot up this morning, and just pulled back from the 46.50. I would say, it's somewhere on this pullback. It's probably going to be a rebuy, and we're going to have another shot at the upside. So the coffee came down. We actually sold it up around the 131 or 130 and 3/4. It's come back to about 127 and 3/4. We would probably buy it above 129 just to get that long position in case something happens overnight. The sugar actually has been acting quite well. We're currently long the sugar, and I think if we break out above 14, we could actually have quite a decent move up in the sugar, possibly a very big move. Because I think the sugar's been beaten down, and it appears to be turning more bullish. And also, I haven't mentioned this for a while, but dairy milk is increasingly bullish right now, and dairy milk is a very good indicator on the economy because it's a discretionary item. When people are strapped, they tend to cut back on milk, and when the economy is going well, they buy a lot of milk. So the milk is actually performing. It's getting up to levels it hasn't seen in quite some time.
So that's a good sign for the economy?
Generally, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And the orange juice also we got up to 140. We sold it yesterday, and it's come back a bit. But you've got to watch it again because it just shot up from 130. It's done that twice. It's gone from 130 to 140 very dramatically. And I would say you'd want to be looking to buy this next pullback, but don't buy it until it turns up, because it could also be a double top, and it could come down. So but I would think if it goes back up towards 140 and looks like it's going to take out that double top, then you could be looking at a pretty large move continuing higher. So look at the Nasdaq. Here we go. This is it.
It's moving higher.
The fangs are back on track, and as I think I said yesterday, if you look at the Nasdaq today, I mean, we've gone a bit lower, but we're still in a three-wave pullback, and it looks very good structurally now for a rally. So
did we lose you, John?
No, I'm here.
Okay.
But this is what I've been expecting to happen, but it's been frustrating because it's sort of it's actually been consolidating between 56.10 and 56.20, and now it's breaking out. So this is very, when you've been down 50 or 60 points and you're down only 25, and it's coming to the afternoon, we could end up positive before the day's out. And if we do end up positive before the day's out, that is going to be tremendous. I mean, it's going to be really bullish. And it may mean that look, if the jobs number comes in better than expected tomorrow, that could be, the market could really take off. So, and if you look at the structure of the market, I mean, we're so close to all-time highs on half a dozen indices. It's not going to take too much of a push here to get synchronous all-time highs in the next couple of days. And here we are, July the 6th. It may not fail us after all. We might end up having a really strong. I mean, this is the sort of day where, we honestly could have been down 50 or 60 points on the Nasdaq, and we could actually end up not just positive, but we could end up, 10 or 20 points higher or even higher, because I really think the market's going to explode out of where we are right now. It's going to be, and if the bonds continue to tank, that's just like throwing gasoline on a fire at this point. It's just, we're at that stage in this bull market where the upside acceleration from here will leave people breathless. And, I've just been listening to these guys on CNBC, and it's typical. They just say the market's running out of gas, and then, this sort of thing. And this is usually what happens right before the next rally. Semiconductors are, quite strong today as well. They're very close to making new highs. The drug stocks are a little bit weaker today, but if they start coming back and joining the party, that will be very helpful. So. Did you hear Trump's speech this morning?
No, I did not. Was it good?
It was an epic speech, in front of 1 million people, and he did a heck of a job. He kind of really, all the people who've been complaining about his attitude towards Russia and all that, he kind of got it all in, and he was beating up on Russia quite a bit. So he also, was very pro-European and much more united and 100% backing. And I'll be honest with you, after some of the remarks that came out in the last few days from Merkel, I think he actually kind of vanquished her in a way by the way he delivered this speech. Because a lot of it was aimed at Germany. I mean, Nazi Germany, that is. And I think he stuck to her a bit. Said, listen, don't even think about not counting on the U.S. kind of thing. And another way, he could have just, stuck as a Europe and said, listen, if you don't respect me or the United States, we're going to walk away. I think that, but he chose to do the opposite and really rammed the point home. So I think he satisfied a lot of the people who've been complaining that he wasn't, so pro-Europe and all that. I mean, he really laid out a very a real 100-year history of all the drama and all the terrible things that have been happening in Europe over the last 100 years, and why it's important, more important than ever, for Europe to and the U.S. and the Western world in general to remain united and 100% behind each other. And he basically invited Russia to abandon support of Syria and get with the Western world, kind of thing, which was a very well delivered speech, and was pretty carefully thought out. And it's the same sort of thing as this. This is what people don't understand about Trump. You have all these people who have no respect for him, and they beat him up every day. But he's got the highest IQ of any president ever, just about, and he's the smartest guy in the room. And he didn't get to be worth $3-4 billion by being dumb. He's a perfectionist, ultimate perfectionist. He has incredible attention to detail. He has a very, very fast mind, and nobody's fool. And there's always a method to his madness, and sometimes he does do some things that are put people off. But look at where he is. He's gaining. This speech today was just like, he almost shocked the world with it, because nobody was expecting a speech like he delivered. And the second thing is, there was a very unifying speech. And the second thing is, what a lot of people don't understand is, when he went to Saudi Arabia, nobody saw that coming. That was brilliantly put together. But he went to the heart of the problem, which is ISIS. That's the biggest problem. Between that and North Korea, those are the two biggest problems in the world that have to be dealt with. And he, by bringing all these leaders together in Saudi Arabia in the way he did, he really has got the Muslim world behind him now in eliminating ISIS, and that's almost accomplished. It's not entirely accomplished because of the ideology and the remnants of it, which we don't know where they're going to go. As far as the standing army and everything that entails, that is days away from being annihilated. So that is a massive accomplishment. It's been no easy task. A lot of people killed in trying to take these people down, but they're almost done. And so the standing army part of it is virtually obliterated right now, and will I think, in the way that Obama didn't do, any uprising anywhere is going to be flattened pretty quick by some kind of a rapid response force. For now, as long as he's in the White House, if there's any kind of a junior ISIS that jumps up anywhere, they're going to be taken out in short order. And so any kind of terrorism that pops up anywhere is going to be flattened immediately. And that's what should have been happening since 1973. If they'd done that in 1973, we wouldn't have all the problems we have today. It's just been ignored, or it's been, they've been allowed this scourge to build and grow worldwide.
I agree.
Who've been killed. So that's one thing, and now I think he's getting the G20 behind him, and the Europeans and NATO behind him, and he's gone in, shaken things up, and there's been a lot of response. They're spending more on the defense. They're all starting to play by the rules, and so he's accomplished quite a lot in a short period of time in actually doing that. And then when you look at the economy and what's happening, the Chicago PMI came out a few days ago, 7 standard deviations higher. It was an absolutely explosive up move. That's why it's a little bit of a kind of a surprise that this jobs number was as weak as it was today, and it may mean that we get a surprise tomorrow. or maybe the unemployment rate is going to go lower because the job market is getting tight in the skilled area. It's not so much in the general workers area perhaps, but in the skilled area, it's becoming quite hard to hire a lot of people. For heaven's sake, there's 6 million job openings in the U.S. More than 6 million. That's an all-time record high right now in unfilled job openings. That's an incredible statistic. So, and manufacturing is coming back. So, gradually the economy is getting better. If we get this strong breakout in the market, which I foresee, and it appears to be starting to happen, then we're really it's going to shock people because if you look at the three-wave pullback in the Nasdaq, and you measure the next up move, it's probably going to go near vertical, like it's just started to do a short while ago, and it may be unstoppable. It may just keep going because once these fangs, which are pulling ahead now, once these fangs get going, and start getting their momentum, their mojo back, they may go parabolic, and they may come up with a lot of the look. You've got earnings coming out in the next week or two, and if those earnings are surprised on the upside, you could have stocks like Facebook jumping $10 or $20, and maybe even Google and Amazon and some of these things. It could be a sort of a real blow-off phase in the market. And when you look at the mid-cap base, if you do take a look at the mid-cap chart, I mean, that thing breaks up. The upside is spectacular. I mean, mid-cap's at 17 3/4 right now. We could go to 20, 2,000 rather. We could go up to 2,000 here. We could have a really big rally in the next few weeks. And it's perfect now because the bonds have been in this free fall in the last few days, and if this continues, it's actually going to inspire the traders and investors to a point where we could have a runaway move to the upside. And based on what I was saying yesterday about whether it's the healthcare bill that's the catalyst or the tax cuts, something's going to drive this market higher in the next month or two. And it could be any number of things, but just based on the way we're going today, we're only down 22 now on the Nasdaq after being down 60. When you get days like that, the Nasdaq has a habit of going green before the day's out, and the S&P might follow here as well. And look, I'm seeing right now with the S&P having recovered a few points while we've been speaking, there is a massive buy signal developing on these indices right now, a really massive buy signal. So whether the jobs market is bad or good, and incidentally there was the trade deficit today was trade news was quite a big deal. It was quite an improvement. So that was one piece of good news today. But we've seen this before. Sometimes the job number doesn't come in quite as good, and the market still goes higher because the way it tells maybe the Fed isn't going to raise rates or something. So that's probably what could happen tomorrow. But we could end the week pretty strongly, and if we do end the week a lot higher than where we are today, technically it's going to leave a tremendous buy signal for the week ahead. That's the way I see it.
So you said there's 6 million job openings in the U.S.?
They sure are. Yeah.
Wow, that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
When's the last time we had a number like that?
Well, it's been going up. It's it was, I can't remember what was.
Have we ever had a number like that before?
No, it's an all-time record. We've never been over 6 million before until like a month ago, something like that. So it's
interesting.
a really big deal. Yeah.
All right.
And so, well, listen, thanks for the invite. I know you.
Thank you, John. Yeah, it's pretty miserable in here, so we're going to wrap it, and we'll talk with you tomorrow.
Yeah, just a couple of things for the folks out there that I mentioned to you overnight. Verizon has come out with a gigabyte offer at $79 for a gigabyte of speed on the internet. It's not available everywhere yet, but it's a pretty phenomenal deal. Secondly, and there's a lot of perks with it as well. You know that Volvo came out yesterday and said they're only going to make electric cars from 2019, and we actually put a sell on Tesla a few days ago, and Tesla had a massive
Tesla got downgraded.
Yeah, exactly, and it's in real trouble now. And as you and I said, I mean, we said a while ago, if it wasn't for the government assistance, both in the solar and the cars, you know, the subsidies, Tesla would be out of business. You know, it would be run bankrupt. The other thing is, as I said on this show months and months ago, this idea about going to Mars is a non-starter because humans will never make it to Mars because you have to travel in space for a whole year. And they just came out with a report yesterday on Bloomberg, basically agreeing with what I said six months ago on this show. So I think the idea of going to Mars is all these people who are dreaming about going to Mars and colonizing it and all that nonsense is just never going to happen. Not in 100 years. It might happen in 100 years' time, but it's not going to happen anytime
Well,
soon.
it's just not a necessity. Not now anyway.
It's
this
all
point.
pie in the sky nonsense. It's all pie in the sky. You know, it just can't happen. It's crazy. Nobody can. You know. I mean, if you think the moon is harsh, Mars is like, you know. I mean, you can't. It's like 100 times worse environment.
And somebody's getting ready to go to the moon. I mean, we've already been there. But
yeah, no, I think the moon is going to be the as far as you go for a long time to come. So anyway, the other thing is that Volvo bought a flying car company yesterday called Terrafugia, and they actually have some sort of an FAA license for one of their flying cars already. So this is a pretty serious move by a major automaker to the next generation, you know, to the coming generation. And as we said back in April, I think April was a Wright brothers moment in the 21st century when all of a sudden there were, you know, 5 or 6 really big breakthroughs in flying cars. They all kind of came out in the same month. And I would expect their innovations to accelerate from this point forward.
yeah, I did see that news release come out yesterday, and I guess people are going to have to start taking it serious.
Yeah. And I mean, look, it's like anything. It's like the Wright brothers. I mean, when they first flew their plane, it was pretty risky, and they were lucky to get off the ground. But look at where we are today, you know. And it's sort of the same thing. In time, the safety features of personal flying vehicles will be overcome, and they'll, you know, I wouldn't say they'd be as safe as driving a car today, but or flying for that matter. But you know, they're certainly going to take a lot of the peril out of flying cars in time.
Yeah, it's
Okay, well, listen, thanks
John,
for the invite.
thank you. Appreciate it. We'll talk to you tomorrow. All right, guys, it's going to hit 114 today, 117 tomorrow. Keep me in your prayers that the AC guy makes it my way soon. Partners, we'll see you tonight in the partners meeting. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with His mercy and with His grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading Emini Futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.